On the 11th of July, 2024, in Chester, South Carolina, at approximately 6:32 a.m., Chester County deputies initiated a traffic stop near J.A. Cochran Bypass and Columbia Road. The driver, Eric Bernard Jones, was found to be operating the vehicle with a suspended license. What should have been a routine stop turned into a sudden escape attempt.
Car for me. Okay. Hold on a minute, man. Damn. Let me roll my window. Man, let me roll my window. I gotta shut it and roll
The
my window.
pursuit came to an end on Ashford Road when Jones lost control at high speed. The pickup truck veered off the roadway, slammed into an embankment, launched into the air, and rolled several times before finally coming to a stop. Jones was taken to the hospital for treatment of crash-related injuries before later being transferred to the Chester County Jail. During a search of the vehicle, officers recovered approximately 112 grams of suspected fentanyl, 56 grams of suspected methamphetamine, various pills, and more than $4,300 in cash. The getaway may last only seconds, but the consequences can last for years. On the 10th of August, 2024, in Miami Beach, Florida, at around 7:30 p.m., Florida Highway Patrol troopers spotted a Toyota SUV, reported stolen near Alton Road and 56th Street. What began as a stolen vehicle alert quickly turned into a dangerous citywide pursuit. The suspect, 46-year-old Savalas Cigar, allegedly stole the SUV after threatening the owner with a hammer. Once spotted by troopers, he refused to stop and sped through traffic, weaving between vehicles, ignoring signals, and even driving on the wrong side of the road to escape. Troopers first attempted a pit maneuver at Alton Road and West 42nd Street, but the SUV briefly regained control. Moments later, a second pit on the ramp leading to the Julia Tuttle Causeway sent the stolen vehicle rolling onto its side. Officers rushed in immediately and took the driver into custody. Cigar was transported to Ryder Trauma Center with non-life-threatening injuries before being jailed. He now faces charges including grand theft auto, fleeing police, and driving without a license. The victim also reported stolen belongings and unauthorized credit card use after the carjacking. One violent theft ended in twisted metal, flashing lights, and a future filled with charges. Ocala, on the 10th of May 2025, after officers responded to a disturbance at a Wendy's parking lot on East Silver Springs Boulevard. According to police, 5-year-old Vashon Brown allegedly brandished a rifle during the confrontation. When officers attempted to stop his white sedan, Brown immediately fled the area, initiating a dangerous pursuit.
He just signaled for it to get into a sign. 25th. Turn the vehicle off!
At 16 account, I need another unit here when these with me.
697, he's taking off again. Going eastbound, northeast 8th.
The chase ended when Brown lost control of the vehicle and crashed through a wooden fence at the Mustang Apartments complex, causing major property damage. After the crash, Brown exited the wrecked sedan carrying a rifle and attempted to flee on foot through the apartment area. One officer immediately pursued him while repeatedly ordering him to drop the weapon. Moments later, the officer deployed a taser, successfully stopping Brown before shots were fired.
He's got a long gun! Put the rifle down! On the ground now!
There's the 107th Avenue and on 28th Street.
Brown was taken into custody and transported to a hospital for evaluation due to injuries from the crash. Officers recovered the rifle from underneath a parked vehicle and also located marijuana and drug paraphernalia inside the suspect's car. Because Brown was a convicted felon, he now faces multiple felony charges including aggravated assault, aggravated fleeing and eluding, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and evidence tampering. The incident began on the 18th of May, 2025, in Thurston County, when a deputy attempted to stop a silver Chevrolet Tahoe after the driver ran a stop sign onto a busy roadway. Instead of pulling over, the suspect accelerated away, initiating a high-speed pursuit northbound on Interstate 5.
He just struck a white work van, gonna be pulling over, and the subject is still fleeing, approaching 124. And I've got Lakewood with me.
During the chase, the suspect drove recklessly through traffic and sideswiped a white work van while fleeing into Pierce County. Deputies reported that the SUV also struck debris on the shoulder and continued weaving dangerously between vehicles. Due to the increasing threat to public safety, additional units including Lakewood Police Department joined the pursuit.
Continuing cross back on the northbound. 60. Continuing back on northbound. Gonna be westbound 512.
Westbound 512, received.
As the suspect attempted to enter the busy streets of South Tacoma, the pursuing deputy performed a PIT maneuver near the Gravelly Lake area. The Tahoe spun out and slid off the roadway into the grass. Initially, the driver exited the SUV and appeared cooperative, but suddenly lowered their hands toward the waistband area and attempted to get back inside the vehicle. Officers immediately responded at gunpoint and ordered the suspect to stop moving before taking the individual into custody. The incident occurred on the 9th of May 2025 in Laredo when Texas Department of Public Safety troopers attempted to stop a white Dodge Challenger on Interstate 35 inches Webb County. The driver, later identified as Humberto Misael Garcia, refused to stop and accelerated away, initiating a high-speed pursuit connected to suspected human smuggling activity.
Vehicle just turned on into Monterrey at 1050 against the wall.
During the pursuit, Garcia drove at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour through neighborhoods and city streets. The suspect first lost control and slammed into a wall, causing severe front-end damage and forcing the hood of the Challenger to fly open. Despite the crash, Garcia continued driving for several miles with the hood blocking much of his visibility. Moments later, he ran a traffic light and crashed directly into another civilian vehicle at an intersection, heavily damaging both vehicles.
Man's driver's wearing red shorts, white shirt.
After the second collision disabled the Challenger, Garcia jumped out of the vehicle and fled on foot through a nearby residential area. Troopers chased him into a confined area near homes, while repeatedly ordering him to stop. The pursuit ended when officers deployed a taser, successfully taking Garcia into custody without further violence. Emergency medical personnel responded to evaluate injuries caused by the crashes. On the 19th of May, 2025, a deputy with the Fond du Lac County Sheriff's Office spotted a black Chevrolet Equinox on Interstate 41 that had previously been involved in another police pursuit. When deputies attempted a traffic stop near Highway 151 for an equipment violation, the driver immediately accelerated and fled. The SUV was occupied by 3 people, including a female passenger who later called 911 from inside the vehicle begging for help.
62. Happy 62.
Sheriff 85, heading to it. I'll be southbound 26.
Should be a 2012 Chevy Equinox.
7-7, we're going to take Schaefer into the Hammer team.
Happy turning on Schaefer.
So we need to get vehicle description or plate. Advise this vehicle. 85, copy. 151 from 41. They are requesting stop 6. If vehicle located.
7-7, we're going to take the left and right. Northbound direction, we're going to continue. Northbound, come wide.
Northbound on Lincoln Highway.
7-7, permission to identify the opportunity of those people.
Right, in Spotsylvania County. Go westbound. We're going up to the curves on T. Just going over the river.
The suspect drove recklessly at speeds approaching 100 miles per hour, weaving through traffic, using shoulders, and ignoring public safety. During the pursuit, deputies attempted to deploy spike strips, but the driver avoided them. The SUV drove into a ditch and later struck a sheriff's squad car before regaining control. The female passenger could be heard screaming during the 911 call, asking officers to stop the vehicle. Authorities became increasingly concerned because the suspects were heading toward the Fond du Lac County Airport.
22, we're continuing. We're going to be eastbound on T. 6-2, you hear me for 43. It looked like there was 3 occupants, one in the back seat as well, hands up.
Yeah, we're going to east to the ditch around the fence.
They would like to know if you want them to page to the next nearest first responder.
Unsuccessful.
From Fond du Lac and point to point, Winnebago from Fond du Lac, point to...
The chase escalated dramatically when the suspect crashed through airport property barriers and drove directly onto an airport taxiway runway area. Because of the threat to aircraft operations, Incoming and outgoing air traffic was temporarily halted. Deputies continued pursuing the SUV across airport grounds and nearby fields. One deputy attempted a PIT maneuver inside the airport area, but it failed. The suspect then exited the airport by driving through muddy terrain and fields before attempting to re-enter Interstate 41. As the SUV entered the interstate on-ramp near Johnson Street, deputies executed another pit maneuver successfully. The vehicle spun into the gore area near the highway entrance, where patrol vehicles boxed it in and stopped it completely. After a brief standoff, 2 passengers surrendered immediately. The driver, identified as 2 7-year-old Chaz Young from Menasha, was taken into custody without further resistance. On the 26th of May 2025, around 8 a.m., Ocala Traffic Unit Corporal Gary Miller observed a black Chevrolet traveling about 20 miles per hour over the speed limit near NW 27th Avenue in Ocala, Florida. When Corporal Miller activated his emergency lights to initiate a traffic stop, the driver, later identified as 1-year-old Leroy Graham, refused to stop and slowly drove away from the deputy.
We are slowly westbound on Northwest 21st Street. We're southbound on 35th Avenue Road, not eluding me. Going about 30 miles per hour, 40 miles per hour, come up to 27. Alright, he's running a red light at I-75. Looks like we're about to get on the interstate. We're 10:31, passing the interstate westbound. Turning on Old Glixton Road.
At first, Graham drove at relatively normal speeds while trying to avoid being boxed in by police. As the pursuit approached Interstate 75 and NW Blitchton Road, Graham suddenly accelerated and began actively fleeing. He ran through traffic and ignored police commands to stop. Deputies coordinated with additional units, including Ocala police officers and the Marion County Sheriff's Office Aviation Unit. The pursuit continued through several busy roads in Ocala, creating risks for surrounding motorists.
American, keep us updated on traffic conditions.
Passing Southwest 10th Street. No traffic coming up towards 200.
Southwest 10th Street, no traffic. Another pit. Station 1032.
He's driving out of it, coming up towards
State Road traffic.
Corporal Miller attempted several PIT maneuvers to spin the vehicle out. Despite multiple impacts, Graham managed to keep control of the Chevrolet and continued driving. Officers monitored traffic conditions carefully due to the pursuit moving through populated commercial areas and near major intersections. Eventually, Graham turned onto SW Highway 200, where officers prepared for a felony stop. The pursuit ended when Graham finally stopped the vehicle on SW Highway 200. Deputies immediately conducted a high-risk felony stop. Officers exited with firearms drawn. Graham was ordered to raise his hands and surrender. He complied and was taken into custody without further resistance. On the 6th of May 2025, around 12:09 p.m., near Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, a New Mexico State police officer conducted a traffic stop on a white GMC pickup truck driven by 75-year-old Dennis Jones of Las Cruces. During the stop, the officer discovered Jones had an active Arizona arrest warrant connected to a probation violation in a sexual assault case. What began as a routine warrant stop at midday quickly turned into a violent armed confrontation.
No weapons or anything on you right now? Alright, if you can't find it, can you just step out for me and we're gonna walk back to my unit, alright? Alright, if you can't find it, just walk back to your unit.
As the officer instructed Jones to step out of the truck, Jones suddenly produced a handgun and pointed it directly at the officer from close range. Believing he was about to be shot, the officer immediately drew his duty weapon and fired multiple rounds. Despite the exchange of gunfire, Jones remained inside the vehicle and sped away from the scene, triggering a dangerous pursuit northbound on NM Highway 181.
10-4, he's going up a Highlands Road up to a property.
Put your hands up! Put your hands up! I'm gonna shoot you!
He's shooting back, he's shooting back. Shots fired, he's shooting.
Put your hands up!
He's down on the ground. What's the hit?
The chase ended when Jones stopped his pickup truck in the middle of High Winds Road.
Let me see your
The
hands!
officer repeatedly ordered him to surrender peacefully and show his hands. Instead, Jones opened fire again from inside the vehicle. The officer responded with his patrol rifle during a second exchange of gunfire, ending the confrontation. After the shooting stopped, officers approached the vehicle and found Dennis Jones unresponsive inside the truck. He was pronounced dead at the scene by the Office of the Medical Investigator. On the 23rd of June 2024, in Los Angeles, California, at around 5:55 p.m., 2 LAPD Southeast Division officers were responding to an urgent "officer needs help" call involving an armed man with a knife near Adams Boulevard and St. James Place. What began as a race to assist fellow officers quickly turned into a devastating collision.
With the shirt on.
All units, officer needs help. All units, officer needs help. Adam the St. James. Officer needs help. Adam the St. James.
District is armed. With a sharp on up too.
He is armed?
He is armed.
All units, officer needs help. All units, officer needs help. Adam the St. James. Officer needs help. Adam the St. James. Perfect team. Air 15 is over.
You good, man?
I'm seeing stars. Hold on.
You're good.
Fire department changing out of the street. Requesting units to over to block eastbound traffic.
You're good.
I got you. Adams and Gramercy. Okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Somebody okay?
We're good.
With lights and sirens activated, the patrol unit responded Code 3 westbound on Adams Boulevard. As they entered the intersection at Gramercy Place, a civilian Toyota Corolla traveling northbound crossed their path. In a split second, both vehicles collided with tremendous force. The patrol car and civilian vehicle were left heavily damaged in the intersection. Emergency crews rushed to the scene, treating all injured parties as traffic came to a standstill. Officers and firefighters worked quickly to secure the crash site and provide aid.
I'm trying to unlock it. How many units block off? Westbound traffic on Adams and Gramercy. You okay, man? Hey.
Both officers sustained minor injuries and were treated and released from a nearby hospital. The civilian driver, identified as Regino Orea Jr., suffered critical injuries and was placed into a medically induced coma, though he was expected to survive. LAPD's multidisciplinary collision investigation team began reviewing the crash. Even emergency responses carry enormous risk when seconds matter and intersections leave no room for error. On the 1st of August 2024, in Miami-Dade County, Florida, Broward Sheriff's Office deputies located a stolen black GMC Denali near the Golden Glades interchange. What should have been a stolen vehicle, recovery quickly turned into a dangerous high-speed pursuit.
1155, I got the signal 10, he's fleeing. We're gonna be 826 eastbound from 12.
826 eastbound from 12, is he on foot or still in the signal 10?
I'm behind a signal 10, black GMC Denali. It's gonna be a 28 of 47 Bravo, Zulu, Romeo, Quebec.
The driver, 35-year-old Joseph Giannino, briefly pulled over on Northwest 7th Avenue before suddenly speeding away. He weaved through traffic, drove aggressively on the shoulder, and struck a white Mercedes while forcing his way through congested roadways. Deputies continued the pursuit as the suspect created chaos across multiple highways.
He's going 12 whiskey, now going on the turnpike, signal 4 versus a truck, and we got to roll over. Let me see your it! Let me see your
As Giannino approached the Golden Glades interchange, he lost control and slammed into 3 vehicles before crashing into a box truck, causing the truck to roll over. the stolen Denali finally came to rest disabled on a grassy embankment near the entrance ramp. Officers moved in immediately, surrounded the truck at gunpoint, and took the suspect into custody without further resistance.